Thank you for having me. My name is Adam Ludwin. I'm the CEO of Chain.com. And Chain is a Bitcoin platform that makes it really easy to build with Bitcoin. So our customers are entrepreneurs, startups, big enterprises who have ideas and want to use the Bitcoin protocol to realize them. And one of the really fun things about working at Chain is I get to talk to entrepreneurs all day long and hear about all the things that they're trying to figure out around Bitcoin and all the ideas they have about what they can build. And we now, as a company, service dozens and dozens of these companies.
What is good, y'all? What is good? Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another episode. And we are getting right into it in this one. But as always, big shout out to the Focused Army. Y'all help keep everything running, and a nice warm welcome to all our new viewers and subscribers. Please continue to break all the buttons as we continue to grow. Now presenting to you Chain.com and the Bitpesa story. It would seem that Chain has done more work for blockchain and crypto adoption than most well-known projects. But for some reason, it is not broadcast and not many know about it. You are now tuned in to ShookFocuz, and it is time.
Previously on ShookFocuz.
So this was the founder of the project, Adam Ludwin. And so something that I thought was very interesting, Mr. Ludwin, as you can see here, for his education, he went to Berkeley and Harvard. Now, Berkeley is starting to pop up. It seems to be, popping up a lot. It looks like they got some angel investors. This Pierre Diamandis looked familiar to me. I'm not 100% why right now. Maybe I've seen him on a different project. And then, man, Pantera Capital looks familiar as well.
It's time to shake the focus up. Sick of being sick and tired. Tell me if you had enough. Yeah. It's Shook's in the building now. We ain't missing nothing. We gon' catch you if they gotta run.
Okay, now this should be an interesting one. Like, it's just gonna be one of those random dot connection types. These things don't really tie, but they also don't really not tie. I'm actually kind of shook myself, so welcome to the mind of Shook just for a couple minutes here. Check this out. Chain, we know in comparison to some of these other fintech companies, their promo is poo-poo, okay? It's mediocre at best, but I swear I have never seen a company so well connected, but at the same time, not connected to anything. Like, I'm already talking in circles, so let me just show you what I'm talking about here.
So first, the story of a company in Kenya called Bitpesa, which enables anyone in the world to send Bitcoin to Kenya. And two things make this story very special, because we know you can send money anywhere in the world with Bitcoin. So why am I pointing out Bitpesa? Well, the first thing is that the recipients in Kenya actually don't receive Bitcoin. They receive Kenyan shillings, typically on their mobile phone, to their M-Pesa mobile phone number. And that's because Bitpesa is actually handling the exchange behind the scenes. And the second thing is that by using the blockchain as their payment rail, Bitpesa is able to dramatically reduce the costs of what it costs to transfer value to Kenya. Because of the geography and sort of the state of development in Kenya, like, the fees can get very, very high. It could be 9-10% for a big transfer. And as a result now, hundreds of individuals are using Bitpesa to fund projects, to receive payments. And there are microfinance groups in particular that I find very interesting, which are helping to funnel investor money for microfinance loans to pay for things like agriculture and to buy these goats. And so I think it's really remarkable to think that these goats were purchased with Bitcoin through a mobile phone. That's sort of the world we live in now.
Now, that video is from 2015, and there's some more stuff to unpack from it, but item number one is a spiral that I just had to share. Bitpesa has a pretty interesting story. So you heard it described by Adam there, used for processing Bitcoin payments to Kenya that are converted to Kenyan shillings. That was done through an integration with M-Pesa. What is M-Pesa? It's basically a mobile wallet, but on steroids. You can make just about any payment you want with it. It's not tied to a bank. It's just a phone and a SIM card. It runs in Kenya and Tanzania. The functionality was successful as Adam described, but funny thing is, Bitpesa was actually booted from that payments network sometime after the speech the same year. The company that runs M-Pesa in Kenya, Safaricom, had them kicked off the network for failing to meet their AML requirements. Now, there's a whole court case and a story and everything to go with it, but I'm just kind of abbreviating, and it would actually still be interesting if the story just ended there, but it kind of didn't. In October of 2019, Bitpesa announced a rebrand, and it's now called AZA Finance. Now, AZA Finance is also preparing to be acquired by a company called dLocal. So this thing is getting a little hard to keep track of, which is one of the reasons I'm releasing this, even though it's not fully fleshed. But Bitpesa, since I didn't mention it before, was founded in 2013 by two Americans, Elizabeth and Charlene. So Charlene's write-up here tells us a little bit more about Bitpesa. A use case for some of their clients was paying suppliers out of China and Dubai. So we got payments between Africa, China, and Dubai. That's definitely cross-border and checks out for a chain use case. And she definitely checks the box for experience. She's worked in the private sector as well as in Fortune 500, kicked it off with Deloitte after coming out of Berkeley. Berkeley is actually interesting because we know that's where SwiftCoin came from, right? That Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator. But then also Adam Loveland got his bachelor's at Berkeley. So Berkeley and Silicon Valley are well represented in crypto. But how about number two, who's actually looking like the number one, Elizabeth, the current CEO and founder of AZA Finance. Her experience is literally a mic drop waiting to happen. She was a founding board member and co-chair for the World Economic Forum Global Fourth Industrial Revolution Council on Blockchain. Spent her summers working for Credit Suisse and Goldman Sachs. So we got Chain, Bitpesa or AZA Finance, World Economic Forum employees, and one more that always seems to bring it full circle for us, Pantera Capital. Pantera Capital was the lead investor in Bitpesa. They raised about $1 million in that round, and then Bitpesa went on to work with Chain and Onyx Coin, or it was just Chain at the time, where Pantera was also a lead investor, closing the loop. Now, it's worth noting that this one and some additional partnerships that we're going to be researching came before and during the light year and interstellar time. But these ain't just your everyday players. It fascinates me that all these different tests ran, and I have never heard of these, y'all. But then what's also interesting to me, especially with this one, is that they have already been using Bitcoin and DeFi to buy goats in Kenya. So is the rest of the world really behind the US in crypto adoption? You know what my answer is. What's yours? And until next time, don't get shook. Stay focused, and I'm out.
All of these things, all these stories, rather, have one thing in common. And this is the shameless plug, but they're all powered by Chain's blockchain infrastructure. So as I mentioned, we have a platform for building Bitcoin services, and all the stories I told you, I know them well because they're users and customers of Chain. And in sort of closing, I just want to say that, what Chain does and what Bitcoin does is enables developers to build on the internet's open financial protocol. And at Chain, we're really motivated by the belief that this network is going to dramatically reduce the costs and dramatically expand the availability of sort of commerce, payments, and financial services for billions of people. And our goal at Chain is just to make it really simple, really secure, and really intuitive for developers to do that, so that whether you're an entrepreneur or a big business, you can take an idea you have and realize it with the blockchain.